Welcome to Merging Minds powered by BureauWorks, the show where AI and innovative unconventional thinkers take center stage. I'm your hostess, Viveta Jean, AI language solution specialist, and today we have a true trailblazer in the world of globalization with us. Are you ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about the balance between artificial intelligence and human creativity in localization engineering? Innovation is not a choice, it's the only way forward in the world of localization engineering. Prepare for a paradigm shift today. And let's talk fair and air. We are honored to have with us Saurabh Kavaathekar. Saurabh is a trailblazing globalization leader with over 22 years of experience, renowned for driving multimillion-dollar programs and pioneering AI-driven transformations in the world of software. Saurabh, let's dive straight into your journey. Can you share a pivotal moment that shaped your leadership approach over these 22 years? What key insights can you share with our listeners from your incredible professional journey?
Wonderful. So first of all, thank you, Viveta, and thank you, BureauWorks, for having me here. It's an absolute pleasure today to be here and to talking to the such a wonderful audience that we have here. While talking about myself, while my background is it lies in science and engineering, I was very fortunate to be born in a country like India, a land which is vibrant with diverse languages and diverse cultures. So I was at a time when I was witnessing India's economy opening up in early 1900s when I was studying in the school, and I saw it going global at that time. So that was my young age, and alongside my passion for writing in Hindi at that time, this actually brought a wonderful and unique intersection where the world of technology can meet languages. So if you ask me, my pivotal moment arrived when I started working for one of my very initial jobs after a very short stint with an ad agency. I started working for a web portal in early 2000s, which was working on putting Indian languages content on the web, which was kind of first time in India that they were doing it. And this company further evolved into a localization service provider company. So you can imagine how it happened. So world-renowned software giants, which you all know, were clients of this company, which was very good because they all wanted to come in India. And I had the advantage of working with localization project teams with those big clients. So I firsthand I saw the critical role of that localization plays in making cutting edge technology accessible and making it impactful for local markets and local cultures. So that's my initial experience, and that is something that took me into this field further, and I developed my passion into this. So my career path took me from localization services firms into leading enterprise software companies like CA Technologies, Symantec Corporation, and NetApp, to name a few. So this incredible journey exposed me to diverse globalization teams and cutting edge technology innovations as I was learning in working in this industry and with these big companies. So in my journey of more than 2 decades, I witnessed the rapid evolution driven by technology in the area of localization, and and I saw that this was a force that was reshaping the world around us. So I realized that regardless of technological brilliance and solutions, the software solutions won't resonate with the cultural adaptation without the cultural adaptations for the local markets. So localization became my driving force, empowering software to reach its intended audience into different countries, different cultures, etc. So I think the other thing that you said was a journey that I had. What are some key takeaways? So very quickly, I would say empathy and relevance is very important. I think you need to make software or applications or technology that is relevant for local customers and local audience. That can be done with empathy only. And the other important thing, the takeaway is that a lot of people think that a lot of roles can be maybe taken over by technology, but I think that's not my opinion. I think technology and humans will always go hand in hand.
hmm And we will
Yeah,
have the time to go into detail about the relationship
yeah,
between humans and AI. And
yeah.
you mentioned a very important word, empathy, and you've hinted at revolutionizing the traditional norms of localization. In a nutshell, how are you challenging the industry, and what innovations are you driving in this space?
Yeah, so I would say, in my view, both Bureau Works and my company, Fidel Softtech, have this mission of empowering localization community with the latest technology. So basically, we take advantage of technology, and I wouldn't ever settle down for traditional ways of doing things. So that's what I would say. Innovation has always been my mantra. Whether I work for vendor side companies or client side companies, and not only just adopted the latest technology, I pushed the envelope in my teams to actually break the boundaries of what is available right now and innovate beyond what is available. The best example that I can give you was with my previous company at NetApp, when my team, along with me, innovated around using artificial intelligence for internationalization, where we were finding and fixing bugs and issues automatically. So not just finding, but also fixing them. We were calling it self-healing. It was patented, and it also, this innovation won a process innovation challenge in Lockworld in 2022. So that's how I look at it. I would say the revolution was not just about the shiny technology, right? It was also about shifting the themes from looking at subjective and more maybe subjective kind of ways of doing things to more quantifiable processes, leveraging data analytics based metrics, and pushing the envelope with, and now right now with Fidel Softtech, we are working on maybe applying AI, generative AI, LLMs, and multi-model localization, which will create a higher ROI for the companies that adopt this, and also create more maybe reasonable and useful software for the customers. And just like Bureau works, right? We are leveraging the latest technology, right? For example, your platforms are right now leveraging AI and NNT for its latest solutions for the customers. So that's how I think I look at it in a nutshell.
It's a very interesting perspective. And it's really important to know that we're not doing innovation for innovation, but we're doing innovation to serve people, to have something useful. And at this point, every journey has its share of challenges. Can you reflect on a particularly challenging moment in your career and the valuable lessons you gained from overcoming it? How do you think change in leadership styles affects teams overall?
Well, so undoubtedly, I would say that there have been challenges along the way, and one truly, maybe I think the challenge that I have always faced is the senior leadership of large corporates or enterprise organizations. Always they ask for the ROI of localization in a company, right? And it's not just for localization. I think for everything that they do in the business, ROI, the return on investment, becomes a big question. So I definitely worked in overcoming this challenge, and there were cross-functional teams resistance also when I used to go ahead and demand for prioritization of localization requirements on product releases. So that used to be there. So within the given constraints of the time and budget, it was often that localization requirements would take a back seat on the projects or programs for those product organizations. So my initial approach was, I would say, not to fight in this situation. I started building better relations with my stakeholders and started to go deeper into what their challenges were, and what I could do to help them in this situation. At the same time, I got more focused on bringing customer insights from the non-English speaking markets. And by prioritizing localization requirements, although was still an uphill task, this was the pivotal moment that forced me to reevaluate my leadership style, where I continued to focus on communication and building trust, and demonstrating data driven insights to my stakeholders. I emphasized on how to reduce the load of localization processes on the system that we had in place, so that it becomes a win-win situation for the cross-functional organizations and the customers while delivering a better ROI. So overcoming this challenge taught me invaluable lessons. I learned that it is important to think out of the box and keeping the larger purpose in the mind, where you think about the customer, you think about the customer delight and stakeholder satisfaction. And these lessons have fundamentally shaped my leadership style over the years.
I see. And it is a collaboration between people, but it is also a collaboration, we could say, between budget, time, and quality. And here we go with a collaboration between AI and humans, which is a hot topic. So, how do you see this dynamic playing out in the realm of localization engineering? And what surprising insights can you share about their working relationship? What is the impact of innovative approaches on people?
So yes, AI is automating what is repeatable. We all know that, right? That's not a secret, and it is also well known that it is getting smarter day by day. So no doubt, it's going that way. But could it replace translators or other professional roles? Maybe not. I don't think so. Uh, I see that this is a partnership that is unlocking a new set of possibilities for everyone. So imagine the content explosion that we are seeing right now, be it a written content or audio or video content. We see more and more content getting generated in an overwhelming volume every day. So the content is growing exponentially, is what we see. So the traditional localization processes and tools cannot keep up with this volume, ever increasing volume of content that we see when it comes to localization. So, on the other hand, let us look at AI as an assistant to us in this process, right? Which will free the humans or the translators or other professionals uh, to focus on more strategic things. Translators can actually apply their magic touch and curate the content and hyper localize it for more audience and more cultures. In fact, I understand that Bureau works as an example. You have a platform and BWX AI, where the translators, say for example, in past might be translating maybe 2000 to 3000 words per day, if you will, right? But now with AI and NMT, in fact, they can localize more content or maybe curate and more customize more content in future. So the role of humans is going to evolve with this. They will do maybe more content at the same time. They will curate and make it more local and more hyper local at this time. So I think this isn't AI versus humans in my view. It is a powerful combo of pushing the boundaries of what is possible, and I think I would say that note down that together both AI and humans will break the language boundaries even further for everyone and everywhere in the world.
Sure. And it seems that we need to develop with AI. What you mean is our strategic competence and be thinkers. And talking about strategy, let's shift gears to your unique approach to success. How do you craft a legacy beyond traditional metrics, impacting teams and the stakeholders? What advice do you have for professionals seeking to create a lasting impact in their respective fields using AI?
So at Fidel Software, my legacy isn't about hitting the numbers, but empowering people. Okay. um, if you will, I foster passion in teams and not just efficiency. I think we all vouch for efficiency, but it is more important that we inculcate the passion in the individuals that are working on the teams, so that we push boundaries together, co-create solutions like I said, the AI powered code internationalization, which is not just very innovative, but it democratizes the technology for wider impact, allowing those who write the code, the developers who write the code, to focus on the features and functionality that they should develop, and the AI enabled internationalization takes care of the rest of the thing and still makes builds a good quality product out of it. So my advice is, don't chase metrics, chase customer success. Embrace AI as a partner, not as a replacement for a role. I would also say upskill to become maybe AI experts, or maybe somebody who is associated with that. Now, LLMs are something which everybody is talking about, and there are so many new roles that will evolve out of it. Um, so together we can actually forge a future where technology amplifies our humanity and not diminishes it. So that's what I would say.
And the good thing is passion when recruiting or when having people working with in the translation and localization industry. The bad thing is that we cannot measure passion when we, for example, select the people that we're going to work with. And by saying that, Sarah, with a demanding career and a passion for driving success, how do you strike a balance between your professional dedication and personal life? Are there specific practices or routines you found helpful in maintaining this equilibrium, and how has it influenced your overall well being?
Yeah, absolutely. I think balancing the demands of the profession can be very tough. We all have to always be so focused and all of that. So my anchor lies with yoga and perhaps my little bit of spiritual outlook that I have. My mornings start with pranayama and kriyas of yoga. So that is maybe 1 hour of the morning that I do, which helps me center, getting in the center and have a boost of energy for the day. This inner calm actually helps me in helps me in approaching the challenges with a more clear brain, more clear head. My spiritual perspective it reminds me that my work, like localization, what I do, helps me in serving a larger purpose, which is connecting and empowering people across the borders. I think that is where my mind goes. Uh, this fuels my dedication and makes setbacks feel like just some stepping stones for me. It is not just about personal well-being, but about serving others while staying grounded and resilient through the profession that I do. So that's how I think about it.
I think your advice, I would take this as an advice, is really useful. Although I would say that in the Western civilization, we have alienated a little bit the meaning of these practices. Breathing is really important, and it is a way to refocus on our vision, on our goals. And how do you see that? Do you see it as, let's say, um, short breaks within your day, or do you find that mindfulness could be built in 1 hour session? How does this work for you?
Well, Viveta, see, one needs to have some discipline. So what I do is 1 hour dedicated in the morning, as I said. But then in the subconscious mind, you have your passion, your mission, or the purpose, which is more larger thing in the mind when you work with anything that you work through. It is not just within the profession, but if you go out on the street, meet someone, you keep in mind that your larger purpose is to connect with people, support people, and I think this is a wonderful profession that we all are in. I think the goodness of technology that we are taking to more people who cannot speak the language in which that technology is built is a service in itself. So that subconscious mind and that subconscious thought is always there within me. So yes, I think an initial dedicated 1 hour with a discipline is always helpful, but throughout the day that keeps you, I think, thinking, not thinking, but having it in your subconscious mind that this is how you approach to anything in your life.
Yeah, I see it as a flow of energy starting from the past, focusing on the present, and leading us to the future. And looking ahead, what trends do you foresee shaping the future of localization engineering?
Localization engineering. So I think I don't have a crystal ball with me. So, but still, what I can foresee based on my experience, like 2+ decades of experience in the industry, as I said, working both towards the vendor side, both and the client side of things, and as you might know, I have been also I have been author. I have been writing articles about the future trends and technology in this domain in localization. I go to forums and speak about this. So what I see a few things, maybe top three things in my mind right now. I would say hyper personalization will take a very important role in future. Content won't just be translated or localized in a generic manner in time to come, right? Generic,
Mhm.
I mean, people do localize content keeping the audience in mind, but hyper localization. So within one community, there would be various segments, and those segments also get targeted in will get targeted in future with the access of technology that they would have and the content generators and localization teams would have. So it will be dynamically adapted to the individual preferences and individual even to the dialect levels. So that is what it would do. Artificial intelligence is definitely going to play a key role, or maybe the other important technology like generative AI, or I would say LLMs, etc. As they evolve, I see that they will have an important role to play in this. Uh, the other important aspect I see is audio visual content is becoming more and more important. Virtual setups are becoming more important. So the second one is multimodal localization will be even more prominent as we go ahead. Uh, so the audio, video, AR and VR, the augmented reality or virtual reality, these experiences will boom even further, demanding localization beyond the current way of what we are doing right now. So, mastering new formats, new platforms, things like metaverse or things like this would be more crucial going forward. The third one that I believe is democratization of the tools. Okay, AI powered platforms will make high quality localization accessible to smaller players, and non-traditional sectors would be maybe it will take over that, and then upskilling of these tools will open doors for new opportunities for individuals and professionals. Then I think you I think also talked about what do we think about professionals. maybe.
Yeah, but I would like to, before we go to and share with the audience some tips for professionals, I would like to share with you that, because you mentioned that when talking with people, with professionals out of the translation and localization industry, and we talk about AI and ChatGPT, they share with me that, look, we're not afraid of the automatic translation, how this is how they call it, or machine translation, or an engine translating from one language to another language. What we are afraid of is that an engine can write, let's say, a letter on my behalf, or create a document on my behalf. This is what they find, scary. And by stating this, here is where I would need your tips for professionals in our industry who are still afraid of AI, and how could they overcome this fear and stay ahead in this rapidly evolving landscape.
So I would say that it is true that the LLMs or AI, they're generating content just quite similar, if not exactly like humans, quite similar to humans. But what I would imagine and what I foresee, in fact, is the controls will be in the hands of humans, right? The control of maybe generating some content with AI or LLMs, or the control of letting it go out would be there. I'm sure maybe there would be security concerns, and I'm pretty sure that security companies will also be working on the fact that hackers don't hack and things like that. But generally the controls with I believe that the controls will stay with the humans. In fact, even if I use say some LLM tool, for example, a lot of people are using chat gpt these days. I have the first is what kind of input I'm giving it to it. What kind of output, do I accept that output or not? Do I change my prompts there to get the desired output? Is all still in my hand. And then in future, the machines will get, as it has been always, they will get even more smarter. I think human evolution along with those machines will also go ahead. We can look at the history. I think history is the best teacher, right? We can look at the history. A lot of machines and a lot of technology has evolved so far. And every time, for example, if there was some person in history who was maybe used the profession was riding a horse cart, would definitely have got impacted with the advent of automobiles, right? But then the roles changed, right? Now automobiles needed drivers. Now you see driverless cars. Maybe the roles will change further. So it is not that just the technology is evolving. In fact, humans are also evolving alongside, and they are always one step ahead. The technology is what I believe.
You are absolutely right. Let's learn from the history, and let's talk fair now. We need to be open, fair, honest, and bold. We have all had a fail. This is how we learn in the end. Can you share with us some fail you had, something funny or something that it was oddly difficult and you learned from it?
Well, so I would share an incident which was in year around 20, maybe 2004, 2005. Okay. I was working for a localization services company at that time, where I was managing a project which I was required to manage multiple Asian languages. And including all other Asian languages, major Asian languages. We also had the project to localize it in Pashto language, which is the language of Afghanistan. So to first of all start working, starting this project in Pashto, we found it very difficult to hire the right kind of resources. Many of the our regular resources were in house, etc. But for those newer type of language sets, we hired freelancers and remote localization professionals. So ultimately, we found one professional in Afghanistan, in Kabul, maybe a couple of them who were working from Kabul, and we initiated the project. My track record was that I had never delayed a project in past, my projects were always on time. So over maybe first, so this was kind of 6 7 months project. First months really well went well. I used to have regular meetings. We used to have email communications and other sort of communications with all the different language resources that were working on this project. However, in between, somewhere maybe 3 or 4 months down the line, I was shocked to see that I was getting no responses from these Pashto resources. They were not answering emails. When we tried to make phone calls, they were not getting through, etc. So we were quite worried. We kept our client also updated about this. Maybe they also worked on the risks associated with this in their own plans. But this was a complete blackout. This was a complete radio silence, if you will, with these couple of resources. That was a very scary situation. And we had nothing. We also explored of finding maybe other resources for this project, which maybe we knew a few, but they were already working on some other projects. They could not join this, and this was a disaster. We thought that okay, even if there is something that happens to one resource, maybe another resource will be available. So some kind of risk mitigation we thought could be done, but this was not the case. There was complete radio silence. Both the resources not responding, and finally, after a few months, I got an email from one of those resources, one of the senior resources, telling me, and remember, those were the times 2004, 2005, were the times when the US Army was in Afghanistan and conflict between Taliban, Afghanistan kind of forces were there. And this person then informed me that there were some bomb shellings around that area. All the communication lines were disrupted, and it took a couple of months for everything to get restored. Right. So we although with a delay we delivered that project, but I learned that there is, even after doing all the level of planning and risk mitigation, you might get into a situation which is out of your control, and maybe destiny has it like that. So the other, I think the funny thing, as you say, right, the funny thing in this project was when there was absolutely no response from these resources. My manager at that time used to say, in fact, he used to tease me by saying that he will send me to Kabul to see what's actually going on. So, so that was the thing. Yeah. So,
I see.
so
Yeah.
incident.
And I think that many people will see themselves in a similar situation where when you have what I normally say is that people are the most unpredictable creatures. So you
Yeah.
cannot predict what will happen, but it's also what you said in the beginning, talking about empathy and in this situation where you don't know what happens on the other side of the planet. What are the
Yeah.
conditions? Maybe there is a
Yeah.
condition of force majeure. So we need to
Yeah.
be a little bit sensitive, and our clients as well, when these kind of
Yeah.
situations arise. And
Absolutely.
thank you very much for sharing
So,
this story. It was
one
really
quick thing that I
interesting.
would add to this, sorry,
Uh-huh.
Viveta, sorry to
No
reject you. A
problem.
very quick
Go
thing that
ahead.
I would add is, back in those days, we did not have AI like tools. Now imagine with AI like tools and AI enabled tools, or maybe more automation, perhaps we could have got certain level of maybe good enough content developed with AI, and would still have achieved maybe something in that project without completely delaying it. So that's also
Mm.
one perspective that I would share here.
Yes, and this is where we go. AI is a great tool, and this is how we should see it. And in every episode, we say that AI is an assistant, and humans are always in the loop. And by saying that, let's go to our fast five questions, where you will have five questions to answer in 10 seconds. So if you go over this time limit, I will interrupt you. Don't take me for rude. So, what's the weirdest thing you've experienced with AI?
So while training a chatbot, my team discovered that it had learned some rather unprofessional language from a specific online forum, which turns out that AI can pick up foul language too.
What's
So
one
yeah.
tool or tip you can share that makes you most productive?
Yeah. So the large language models are, I think, I would say, are simplifying a lot of the day-to-day work and repetitive work is what I see with things like ChatGPT.
What's the biggest myth people believe when it comes to translation and technology?
In my view, the biggest myth that translation technology people think is that it is expensive and inaccessible for smaller or medium-sized businesses.
What is the
The
last thing you Googled?
Yeah. So, what is the last thing I Googled? I Googled about maybe something on a tool for localization. That's what I remember.
Using one word, how would you describe AI?
Okay, so AI in my one word would be evolution. Okay, it's an evolution.
Evolution. I keep
Yeah,
this word.
yeah, it's an
Fantastic.
evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Saurabh, for making our Merging Minds podcast a learn and fun experience. Merging Minds is an event powered by BureauWorks. BureauWorks is a cloud based translation management system integrating innovative AI translation technology and the winner of the Process Innovation Challenge at Lockwood 50. If you want to experience pure AI innovation translation technologies, sign up for a free trial using the link we share with you, coming with a special offer 30% off for the first 3 months, or book a demo. Saurabh, have you checked out our tool? Have you tried it?
Yes, 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 I have, and I think it is wonderful. And again, as we were talking about AI, I think it brings a lot of good application of AI for the localization professionals, as well as neural machine translation. So I think it's a great tool for the industry right now, and people should definitely try it out.
So let's wrap it up for today's episode of Merging Minds. A huge thanks to Saurabh for sharing his invaluable insights. Stay tuned for more exciting conversations, and remember, the